Let's just go to Morocco and bring Victor Ademola on the show this morning now. Victor, of course, was at the news conference where Justine Madugu, the Super Falcons coach, did make some of these statements. Good morning, Victor. Good to have you again on ADBN Sport, this time from Morocco. The two times we've had you on the show, you were in Lagos. Those two times, you are just finished watching the Super Falcons play. How is Morocco this morning, and how is the camp of the Super Falcons?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to be here. Morocco is good. And of course, the players are gearing up for the quarterfinal match against Zambia. So they're in good spirits.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about some of the things that Justine Madugu said. But first, let's look at our 3 group games. We are on the platform where, in Nigeria, on the WhatsApp platform for women's football. And you know what a number of our colleagues have been saying, especially from that second game against Botswana, then the game against Algeria. And I know also online some of the girls might be reading some of those comments. Share your own perspective with us because you are live in Casablanca, Morocco. What is your own take from our 3 group games? We didn't concede any goal. We scored four goals. What do you make of our performance in the group games before we talk about Zambia?
Yes, thank you so much. Of course, our performance, finishing the group at the top with 7 points, unbeaten and without conceding a goal, on paper, feels like a very good result. And to be honest, the girls did well to achieve that. Also note that no team at this competition have a perfect record. Even from Group A, the winner of Group A, Morocco had 7 points. Zambia also had 7 points. Even South Africa's group as well, they finished with 7 points. So that's one thing to take note. However, it feels like our group was the weakest, on paper. Looking at the fact that the medalists from the last WAFCON, Morocco, South Africa, and Zambia were in different groups. And we relatively had just Tunisia, Algeria, and Botswana. So it felt like we were going to easily win this with 9 points. But also note that because we had qualified ahead of time before the final group game, the coach had to rest some players, and maybe not the players that are not really pushing for that win. So it's not a do or die affair for them. But at the same time, we've seen that the girls have struggled to score goals. Yeah. In the first game, we scored 3 goals. Even at that game, we have missed a lot of chances in the final third. And of course, we're not clinical enough against Tunisia in the opening game, which we won 3 goals to nil. Against Botswana, we struggled. We got a late goal. We won that by goal to nil, but the goal came late into the game, I think in the 88th minute or so. And our last game against Algeria were very defensive, and we also could not find the net. So the problem has been goal scoring for the girls. They're strong defensively, but getting those goals in the final third is what the coach actually said at the post-match presser, that they will be working on that. They see the areas for improvement, even though they are choosing the quarterfinals, they're not satisfied, even though they are unbeaten and yet to concede. Of course, to win competitions like this, you have to score goals. Except you want to play out the draw and win the penalties, you have to score goals.
Yeah, definitely. Now, but a lot of people will tell you that since Thomas Dennerby left, under Randy Waldrum, this team was more of a defensive team. You look at the last World Cup, we're trying to take our games to penalties. And England, of course, we couldn't succeed in that round of 16 game. And the coach had enough time to solve this problem. In your own opinion, against Zambia, and with what Justine Madugu is also saying, we are up against 2 Zambian girls who are fast paced players. The Zambians, the way they've played, I think that Friday's game is going to be a tough one. Share your own thoughts with us, your expectation from Friday's game, and also what some of the players have been telling you. I know you've done a lot of interviews with virtually all the players. What are the players really saying ahead of Zambia? And of course, also your own expectation from that game.
Yeah, of course, the players will be out for a revenge. Remember, Zambia stopped us from getting a bronze medal at the last edition, 2022. Of course, no doubt, Racheal and Barbra, they've been fantastic for Zambia at this competition. They have 3 goals each for Zambia. So there'll be major threats going forward. But we have a solid defense that can handle them. These girls have played at the biggest stage. And I can understand that the last competition we played at the Olympics and at the World Cup were defensive. At the World Cup, we had to be defensive. We played stronger countries like Canada, like Australia, and also we played England too as well. So we had no choice than to be defensive in those games to grind out the results. Against England, it was a surprise at the World Cup because we attacked in that game. But at the same time, we were not still clinical enough at the knockout, and finally we lost via penalties. It's also my fear that if this game goes to penalties, it's a game of chance, anything can happen. But I think the girls who want to actually win this against Zambia, they are going to come out, they're going to play. And of course, let's expect something different this time around. At the knockout stage, if you make any mistake, you definitely going home, so there's no room for error. So that is why this phase is very important. It requires a large degree of concentration, focus, and discipline, which is what, of course, the coach will be working on with these girls at the moment. Of course, Zambia is a very difficult team. They have grown stronger than even the last edition at the WAFCON. The last edition, they did not have Barbra in the team.
Exactly.
But now they have Barbra, and they have Racheal, who is also on fire.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very tough for the girls. One of the biggest tests. Before the competition started, I thought the first 3 teams would definitely be, my opinion then was Morocco, Zambia, maybe Nigeria, or South Africa, Nigeria, Zambia. I had Zambia making the top 3, but now they're facing Nigeria. One of them has to go.
Yeah. Now, I remember that after that friendly game against Cameroon in Abeokuta, when we had you on the show, we did talk about, that was one of the questions I asked you, which of these countries do you think will most likely win the WAFCON? Now, we've seen the countries play 3 games. Are you still sticking with the Moroccans, Zambia, and then the Falcons? Or are you going with the South Africans who dealt with, Tanzania last night 4-0?
Yeah, of course. The ranking now, looking at how teams have played so far, South Africa has impressed. However, remember, they also played a 1-1 draw against Tanzania. In that game. So, I would say we should expect surprises in this competition.
Okay.
They might also get shocked by Senegal, you never can tell. Morocco have the home support, they have the home crowd here, and they play really well as a team. They have that good structure.
Okay.
So we just have to wait to find out. My opinion, the person that wins this game against Nigeria and Zambia, or the team that wins this game, would win the competition. That's my opinion anyway.
Okay.
But I want Nigeria to win, obviously.
Yeah, quite interesting because I've seen the Moroccans play. I've also seen the South Africans play. And Zambia couldn't beat Morocco. You remember that group game. Now, I'm happy you are in Morocco as we prepare to round up. I know you have so much to attend to. Morocco, really, you've been there a couple of times. What is Morocco really doing right? Not just their men's football, not just the club, but in women's football now. FES Rabat got to the final of the CAF Women's Champions League. They nearly won it. And now again, the Moroccans look solid for this competition. They are hosting. Their aim is to win. In just a minute or two, what do you think? What have you seen? What have you heard that you think the Moroccans are doing right that we failed to do in Nigeria in the last couple of years? And it appears that Morocco wants to dominate both the men's and the women's football.
Yes, of course. One thing that is obvious when it comes to Morocco is the abundance of sports facilities, around the city.
Okay.
A lot of stadiums, a lot of training centers, and they are still doing more. They are still building more in preparation to host the FIFA Men's World Cup. So they have a lot of that on ground. And with that, it's easy to get the right coaching, and you can easily grow talent when they have the right atmosphere. So they have the right atmosphere for talent to grow and develop. And they enjoy the fan support. So everywhere I go in Morocco, 90% of the cab drivers I've spoken to, they're either fans of Wydad in Casablanca, either Wydad or Racheal Casablanca.
Yeah.
So it shows that they support their very own local talent and local leagues. And we have the facilities to back that up.
Yeah.
Players will be aspiring to at least also play for the local teams.
Yeah.
And of course, that would ensure that the talents don't go outside or they are not well utilized. When they have the right facilities to train at, they have right coaching, and they have the home support. Of course, the sport in the country would grow.
Yeah.
We are lacking that in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I can count just one finger how many good stadiums we have in Nigeria. So we have to work on that if you are going to see progress. We have good coaches, we have good players, we have lots of talent, but facilities and support from the locals for local football is not encouraging. That's the truth.
Yeah, well, and of course, these things don't work like magic. We have to do the work. So the Moroccans and the other countries they are showing us the way. I'm not surprised. There's even a report around Stanley Nwabali potentially going to the Moroccan League, which I won't be surprised if that happens going forward, of course. Quick score prediction, Zambia against Nigeria on Friday, 5 p.m. What do you think will be let me put you on the spot. What do you think will be the score?
Okay, all my score prediction has been wrong so far.
So you're not octopus, Victor.
No, I'm going to say a draw so that I can be wrong and Nigeria win it, right?
Okay.
So
Well,
I'll draw and win by penalties, maybe.
Okay, all the best to the girls, and thank you so much for the great job you are doing. We spoke earlier this morning. I know it's so expensive to stay in Morocco. I don't know how you are doing it, but I can only wish you all the best. Dr. Victor Ademola, who did
Thank
join
you.
the show from Casablanca, Morocco this morning.